Hello, crafty friends. This is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Here is a cute little pumpkin that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I am just putting some of this very cute scrapbook paper. I'm pretty sure this is a Hobby Lobby find. And all I'm doing is just measuring it by making a crease. I Mod Podged it down. And then the other pieces you can see I painted in plaster color and then the truffle brown for the stem. And I didn't want it glossy, so I only put the Mod Podge on the wood and on the underside of the paper and pressed it into place, and it stayed really nice. And now I'm taking the antique wax and I'm just going to kind of rough it up a little bit, make it look kind of old and grungy looking. And then I'm using the orange to dot on the hello. And then I did paint the fall part with truffle color. And then just using some Elaine's glue to apply that and allow that to dry. And I liked how this all looked. Everything was attached, but it needed something else. And so I'm doing one of those messy bows. And you can do this with little fabric scraps, ribbons, anything that kind of goes together. Just lay them in just like this and tie a knot and a couple, ties, and then trim it off. And you can even use that jute string as part of the ribbon. And then I did trim each piece, made it like a dovetail or just did it at an angle. And then everything was just kind of cohesive and fluffed it up. And again, used the Elaine's glue to attach it to the pumpkin. And then just allow it to dry, and it just turned out so cute. I'm so happy with this pumpkin. Yeah, I just, the little messy bow, I really kind of like that technique. It doesn't take any talent to do it, and it works so nice for this kind of a craft. I hope you enjoyed this pumpkin too. On to DIY number 2. Okay, this is called Miss Annie Acorn. And these are from the summer when they had little coconuts. And I did see someone make an acorn from one of these a long time ago, and I decided to do it this year. Now, my agenda with sanding this off, they've got a rough edge on it. It's a coconut. And so I wanted the paint to stick better. I wanted the spackling to stick better. And all I did was just try to make a smooth area for the face, because I knew I was going to need, that to make a decent looking face. So I allowed that to dry, and while that was drying, I put the truffle on the very top piece. That way, when I put the pine cone on it, then it wouldn't show through. And so just one large pine cone is what I used, and I just basically tore it apart and then used all those little pieces from there. And you just line them up like you're shingling a house. And you'd go on the bottom first and then just keep going till you get to the top. And hot glue worked really good for this. Instant hold, and I don't know, it just held really well. So I've got her little Annie's little hat done. This is dry. I'm just sanding it a little bit to make sure it's nice and smooth. It felt fine. And now I'm just going to do a layer of the plaster paint. And I painted the entire thing in the plaster. And while I was doing this, I did make a little dot on the inside so I knew exactly where the face was going to go. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, if it was, if I'd be able to tell where the smooth spot was. So when this all dried, it kind of cracked where that plaster was. So perhaps if you're going to do it, maybe do something different. I don't know. And the bottom where I didn't sand, that did flake away. So it isn't foolproof. Not sure what would be better, but the chalk paint, just didn't work all that well. But I'm going to keep it, and when it's, not cute anymore, I'll probably just toss it. It really cost me hardly anything. So here I'm just going to give it some cheeks, and I did go over the entire thing with black paint because when I did the Sharpie, I didn't like how it wasn't dark enough. So pop on her little head, and it was good to go. And there's little Annie Acorn. See how it's kind of cracked, but you know what? That kind of added to it as well. Crackle is kind of a fun look. I did have fun. I was pleased at how it turned out. I hope you all are doing well. I want to thank you for stopping in. We've got one more cute craft coming right up. DIY number 3. Okay, I got my scroll saw out and I cut out this little squirrel, and it was just basically a piece of scrap that my husband had, and I wanted a gray squirrel, so I'm using the chalk paint and steel and elephant, and the darker one here is elephant. And then I went over and did some light touches with the steel. And just kind of give it a little bit of dimension. I did not add lots to this, but we did add some detail in here, and you'll see that coming right up. Now I had drawn on the face and the nails and everything on it prior, and then I took a fine line paintbrush and dipped it in black, and then I will show you how I am doing the face and everything. But first, I cut this out on my Cricut. Welcome to the nut house, because we all know life can be that way sometimes. I just thought it was very appropriate for these times. And here I am. I'm just going over. It looks like I've got some sort of a pen, but this is just paint, black paint on a brush, and it's a really fine line. This is one of those brushes that people use for calligraphy. And it looks like I'm really zipping along, but trust me, this took me, 4 or 5 minutes to just take my time and go through it and get your angles right with your hand. And then, of course, it needs a little light in its eye for a little shine. And I even went with the details and put whiskers on it. I just cut little strands of string, and I put those on with a little bit of the Aleene's glue. And now if you're in a nut house, you're going to have a nut. So I painted these cute little acorns. They're wooden ones that I'd picked up from Hobby Lobby. Painted the bottom of that, and I believe that color is called hazelnut. And the top I did in truffle color. And then you just make the top with the hazelnut. You just make it cutesy like the top of an acorn with this little lattice look. I hope you've been enjoying my fall series. I have been very much enjoying this. This is one of my favorite seasons to decorate for, and Christmas is probably the most favorite that I enjoy, and that'll be coming up next season, of course. But this one has been so much fun to make these fun things. And I thought I wanted to do something a little different than everybody else is doing. I haven't seen very many squirrels, so I hope you enjoy my little squirrel friend. And let's look at all of these items one more time. Here's one more look. Thank you so much, my friends, for coming, and I appreciate your kind comments and all your encouragement. My channel is growing, and I'm very encouraged by this. Just thank you so much. I do truly appreciate it. I'm having a ball doing this channel, and I hope you are enjoying what you see for content and it gives you some ideas. You take care, my friends. Bye-bye.